So, welcome to another Behind the Badge LinkedIn live session with Confare. I'm very glad to have Fredric Wohlwend with me in the call. Frederic, hi, great to see you
Morning,
again.
morning, Michael. Thank you for having me.
Fred, you received the Swiss CIO award for your role at Merck in the second year of the award. What did this moment mean to you?
Oh, it meant a lot, Michael. It meant a lot, personally for sure, but professionally as well. We're talking about 2013, long time ago, and the world has changed so much since then. Kind of crazy.
Mm,
At that time, I was running IT for the Merck Group worldwide, and we were in the middle of very complex integration, modernization, globalization of technology, and it was at that time, the beginning of what we call the digital transformation
mm,
and the start of the real change of the role of the CIO. So I was super pleased to participate,
mm,
not to say to win. Uh, but for me, it was really also recognition of the entire team that was
mm,
behind me. I used to run a team of 1,000 people in 60 countries, and uh, achieving something, it's always the result of a team. So when I
mm.
think about the award back in 2013, I think about the team I had with me.
Mm. What kind of feedback and reactions did you receive after the award?
Well, extremely positive, as you can imagine. Externally speaking, it resonated in the market in the sense that many people reached out to me, to share thoughts and knowledge and experience. I was invited to speak in many interesting
Mm,
conferences. People reach out to ask for advice, which is really great. So it opened up a little bit because when you run as a CIO into a large enterprise, you are so much focused inwards into what
mm,
the company that sometimes you lose a little bit the outside perspective. And then internally, of course, it made a big impact because the role of the CIO, as I used to say already back then, is always underestimated, undervalued. Is very frustrating as a role, and suddenly that brought also to my team an internal visibility and reinforced, our ownership of the seat at the table with the business.
mm. And as I remember, you brought a lot of thought-provoking statements with you that were quite ahead of the time. Especially when I think about the collaboration between business and IT, you had very provoking thoughts back then.
Yes, and what's funny is that I guess these statements are still very relevant today.
Yeah,
Uh,
of course.
Even
Yeah.
though do not change.
How has your own career evolved since then? You're now in a quite different field.
Yeah, so I'm an interesting case, I guess, because I had the chance to first grow through the IT space and becoming CIO of a 3,000 employee group, and then the CIO of a 40,000 employee group. And then, you always ask yourself as a CEO, what's the next step? What is interesting, if you look at Merck, I mean, 1st of May, they have a new CIO, a new CEO, sorry, and the new CEO used to be the CIO in the past when I was there, before me. So a CIO can make it to the CEO role in large enterprises. For me, I had a chance to move to the investing ecosystem, and today I'm a CEO of an investment firm investing into young CEOs, startups in artificial intelligence globally. That has been my evolution. I've been
Mm,
very lucky to move from internal CIO to now assisting other CEOs, and basically, what I'm doing, what that means is that I managed to shift from running IT operationally and having interesting business discussion to today, I'm talking to founders of fast growing software companies, and my job is pretty much about helping them aligning the vision that they have, to the strategy to grow, to the execution capabilities, and help them build the minimum of governance, which most of startups are lacking today. So I'm much more now on the business side, I would say, than pure techie part.
How does the experience of being a CIO support this new role?
You know, it's key. That's the differentiation I bring to the market. The fact that I've been implementing technology operationally in large enterprises for decades gave me the experience I can transfer to young founders to scale their companies. Because, you know, when you look at startups in AI, I think there's a new startup popping up on the market every minute on the planet. We always talk about the success stories and the unicorns, but about 95%, if you look at the stats, 95% of these startups, they never scale. And it's never because of the technology. It's always because, as I said before, founders don't have the experience of growing a business. Sometimes they don't even have a vision. They think short term, quarter by quarter. They might have a good strategy, but the execution is poor, or they have a great execution and a poor strategy. So what you learn in large corporations as a CEO, which is, you know, aligning a vision to strategy, to execution, to the governance, basically I'm transferring this to these fast growing companies. So my experience as a CIO is definitely helping young founders who sometimes want to go a bit too fast.
Must be a great experience to learn from someone like you. The CIO Award now celebrates its 15th anniversary. Let's talk about the CIO role. How has it evolved in this time?
I think the CIO role has drastically changed, and not because the CIO wanted to change, but because the industry has changed fundamentally. And you remember back in 2013, we were already discussing about the importance for a CIO to adapt to business changes, and this is what happened. So if you look back, you know, 10 years ago, we as CIOs, we moved from being an internal supplier and managing mainly uptime and cost control. We had then, with the cloud explosion, we had to move from being a service manager and manage cloud services on behalf of the business. But today, I guess CIOs are real business partners. They have to become real business partners, because what we have to do as CIOs is kind of trying to control the AI explosion within enterprises, because all departments are adopting AI, sometimes in a disorganized way with little governance. So more than ever, I think the CIO is becoming the person connecting all parts of an organization, and the spread of AI is somehow helping in that direction. So I guess today we had that vision 10 years ago, but today this year really is at the intersection of strategy, risk, and organizational change. The other thing that has changed, Michael, that I think it's important is the speed at which things are happening. You know, the technology cycles are shorter and shorter. Which is an issue with the job I'm managing now, because when I'm investing into a new software company, you know, if 4 to 5 years that company does not become a global leader, they will disappear. That's the rate, and will be replaced by the next cycle of technology. So because also in large enterprises, technology cycles are short, you know, the CIO has more than ever has to create an ecosystem and an environment, you know, that can adapt to that speed as well.
Your experience in the investment market, did that change your view on digitization and IT?
You know, if there's one thing that did not change, is the fact that technology has only value if it solves a real problem. And that was already true back then. I would insist on the fact that the speed and the scale of the disruption, and I'm talking a lot about AI because it's kind of a trend today, but AI is really transforming organization today, being, you know, the way you manage application, way you manage your cyber protection, and with agentic AI, the way your workflows are running it's really becoming a defining factor of how enterprises can compete and survive nowadays.
Mm. When you evaluate new investment opportunities in startups, do you have a special conversation with the CIO?
Yeah, always. So basically, what I'm doing is I'm investing. Forestay Capital invests into what we call enterprise AI. So it's all AI pure software companies that are selling their software to large enterprises, and through that we're engaging a lot with CIOs. For CIOs, the difficulty is the offer is so broad. Is which startup shall I select? And innovation is coming through startups, but startups are not profitable companies at the beginning. So you also have the risk of investing and adopting internally a technology that is brought by a company that is not yet profitable. So that brings a risk. But we talk a lot about the CIO to the CIOs, and I'm using the network. I know many CIOs around the world now to also test the adoption of the technology, because I'm not betting on a technology early stage to see if it works. I'm only investing into companies that make already some kind of revenue. So my job is really to understand, will the adoption of that technology in the industry happen or not?
Are you talking to the CIOs of the startups as well?
Yes, of course, also of the startups, and that's basically what I'm doing. Basically, today I'm trying to match, CIOs and CIOs from small startups and large enterprises, and trying to see if there's a handshake.
Today, what defines an IT that truly award worthy?
Well, IT today, it's goes really beyond, technology excellence. It's really a combination of leadership, business impact, innovation, and I truly believe that the IT leaders that are worth participating into the award process are those that are able to bridge technology and the business strategy, lead organizational change, leverage AI, and of course build a secure environment. So I think award-worthy IT is not only about tech itself, but really transformation and impact.
You are part of this Confare CIO community for 13 years now. What would you write in Confare's anniversary guest book?
Well, I could write an entire book. If there's one thing I could write, is that the Confare organization since 15 years, I think you've recognized not only technology excellence in the industry, but as I said, also leadership and transformation. So I think you've done a fantastic job, and you've helped so much all CIOs around the world, because you've built a strong community of professionals that share the same challenges, but also the same opportunity to lead organization through tech, and nowadays it's even stronger than back in 2013, back 15 years ago. I mean, the future is absolutely amazing. I'm not scared by AI. I think it's a fantastic opportunity, and yeah, I would write a statement to congratulate you guys for what you've created as a community.
Thank you for that. Talking to CIOs, why do you think it is worth applying to this award?
First of all, because recognition matters. It's important, and as I said before, the CIO role is a difficult one. You can always lose, because if something goes wrong, you get hit, and if something goes well, the C-suite will take credit for it, or the business will take credit for it. So it's important to have some kind of recognition. More than that, what is important, I would say also, is to benchmark itself. For me, experience was amazing to write down, what I've done, why I've done it, and what were my challenges and where I've been successful, because it forces you to pause, step back, and have, you know, again, an helicopter view and get out of your day-to-day activity. But I would say that what is important is to participate to the process. Of course, winning an award is always important, but even more than the award itself is going through the process. It's a learning experience, and it's also a way to share thoughts and experiences with others.
Great, thank you. Fred, it was great to see you again, to have this conversation with you, reviewing this past 14 years. Looking forward to maybe you can make it to a 15-year celebration in September. Would be great to meet you in Zurich. Cheers from Vienna and see you soon.
Thank you, Michael. I will be there in Zurich.
Great. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.